Guys, this is Doug from Rusted Wrench Garage. If you remember the last video, we took the Camaro out and we wasn't real impressed with the way it ran. So we was trying to decide whether we was going to pull out the motor, fix the other motor and put it in. But upon a little bit more research, we found out it had a cracked spark plug. So we're thinking that might have contributed just a tiny little bit. And it was running too lean. So we're going to upgrade the fuel system on it and maybe see how that works. But we had a bunch of stuff show up at the house, so we'll come in here, show you all the stuff showed up on the porch. I think I got it all laid out here. Here's our MagnaFuel pump and filter. So this is going to go to the fuel cell and pull it through, and it's going to come out here. It's going to go into the bottom of our regulator, and then it's going to come out of the regulator here into the carburetors. The pump itself is the bypass, so we don't have to bypass it through the regulator. The bypass will be here, and the bypass will come out here going to the top of the fuel cell. So I think we got her laid out. We got the fittings. We've got to get a couple more fittings for this, and Steve ran to go get those. So when we get those back, then I think we'll have her lined out. And as you can see, we bought the Vibrant fuel line, and these are all the Vibrant fittings. Nylon braided hose. Here's a smaller one that's going to go up to the carburetor. As you can see it's got the nylon braiding around it and stuff. And what'll happen is, if I can get this off with my hands, let's see if we can do this real quick. So your hose is going to push. I know this is a smaller hose, it's the big one. This will push up on there, and and then this will be on here, and you'll push that up on there, and then you'll tighten this down, and it'll actually crimp that in there, so you don't have to use any other kind of clamps. So we'll get the old fuel cell, old fuel system out of it, and start putting this in, and see how it goes. Okay, so got all the fuel pumped out of the fuel cell. Oh, now we get to get under the car. And here's the old system. Got your filter here, and the pump's up there. All the fuel line running through there. So we're gonna have to get all this out. Get the fuel cell out, pull off all the old fuel line where it's running to the front, and we'll start running the new stuff. There you go, we got all the old stuff off. There's the old fuel cell, the regulator, the pump, the filter. This was a Mallory 140. And we had the Mallory regulator on it, and the Mallory 140 filter. All the soft aluminum lines that I ran with the rubber connectors. It's all gone. There's nothing left under there of the old fuel system. So now we can start knocking up where we want the new stuff to hang and go. So, well, let's get it together and give that a shot. We got the pump and the filter mounted. We just put it back up on that bracket where it was at, and I think that'll work. It seems to. And we got the fuel cell out here. Get out from under the car. Had to take the top off to get all the foam and everything out. Get my hands down in there. We got the bigger 12 fitting in there, 12 AMP fitting in there. Had to drill that out a little bit. And it's got a nut that goes on the back, and we got the, for my return here, this is going to be my vent. That one there we don't need, so we just plugged it off. It's a little tough because you got to get a wrench inside there and hold that at the same time you spin that to get it tight, but we got it done. So now if we go up here to the front, I got the regulator bolted in where we want it. So we're going to make up the line that goes from here to the carburetor. And we'll show you that. Okay, we got this end done. Let me show you this end. I got the hose cut where I needed it. And I don't know if it's necessary, but I just kind of singed the nylon here to make it where it's not all slinging out everywhere. But you want to put this cap on here. Shove your hose in there as far as it goes. There's a ridge, so you want to get it just as far in there as it'll go. And we're going to take just a little bit of, not much, just a little bit of assembly lube, and I'm going to put around here so we can try to get that hose to slide up in there. Okay. Now, this is going to be the trick to get that slid in there. I'm going to get it started, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it over here in my vise. Go over here and you can see this. Okay, I got a mess here, so alright, let me get you set up here. Okay, I don't know, can you see that? Alright, I don't want to really scar that up, so we're going to put this in a rag. I'm going to put a rag in here, and I'm going to put that one end in the vise, and not tighten it too much, but just kind of snug it up. And if I remember right, that took a 7/8 wrench. So let me grab the 7/8 wrench. We left it over here, and we're just going to tighten that into that nut because we already got it started. And it should push it in that hose, and kind of watch your hose to make sure it's not slipping back out, because it's got barbs in there, and that's going to hold it. And you want to get it run up all the way, but watch your hose that you're not, your hose ain't trying to, that it's not pushing your hose out at the same time. Is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. So far, so good. We're almost there. It's starting to snug it up. They may make a tool for this. I don't know. We don't have one. So we just use what we got. If it works, it's got to be right. Okay, we're getting close to bottoming out. You can feel it. It actually starts to get tight, snug, because what it's doing is expanding that clamp. This part was in kind of a. Well, let me show you with this. See, you can see that it's cone shaped. So as it draws that up, it's pulling it up in there, and if you can see them looks like look like those little threaded area. That's what this screws in, and this has got little barbs in there too. I don't know if you can see them, but it'll actually hold it. And as you draw this in, it's shoving that hose up onto that cone. And it should give you a tight fit. That's what they say. You know. So we're almost there. Almost. We have it. Okay. Now, see, that is not going to pull out of there. So now we got our hose for our carburetor. Took it from the regulator to the carburetor. So let's go put that on there. Come over here. I don't know if I can set you up here where you can see anything. Give me a minute. I mean, I see the. Well, that ain't gonna work if you keep falling. Alright, let's go down to the floor. Okay, so I think you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed this through here. Because I don't know, that's just the best way I thought to do it. And we'll screw this end into the regulator right here. And the other end will go into the carburetor feed line. Okay. You want to make sure you don't have you don't want to get too much of a bend in it. You know what I mean? So, snug that down onto the carburetor and snug this one onto the regulator. And, oh, I don't know. Could have been a little bit shorter, but there it is. So we got that done. I still want to run my fuel pressure gauge, so it's going to have to hook into here. So I'm hoping, and it don't look like that's going to be the right size. So, I don't know. Could a guy put it over here? I don't know if I have any fittings to reduce that. Let's, I don't know. Let's pull that out of there. And, look, kind of, well, that wasn't even tight. Kind of there. And that is absolutely not going to fit in there. So let me shop around here in the garage and see if we got a fitting that will go into that. So, we don't have anything that's going to fit in that. I mean, we could put that smaller fuel pressure gauge, but I like it being up here, you know, where I got it, right up here. So, we're going to stick this back in, and this time we are going to tighten it. Get it good and snug in there. They used white tape on that. I don't know if I like that idea, because what if, I don't know, I hate for that tape to get in my fuel. I'm going to pull this out and we're going to see if we can stick her in there. Well, that wasn't tight either. Good thing we decided to do that. That would be nice if we can get it in there. I don't know. Well, it doesn't, I mean, it looks, no, too big. Well, we're going to have to, we're going to have to get some different fittings, I guess, guys. That's not going to work. Let's get this back in there. We don't want to leave it undone. So, support that way, tighten it in there. So this is what we're up against. We want to, that's what we want to do. But, I ain't got the stuff to make it happen. So, you have to come back to that. So, you can see here, we got the main gas line hooked up. And it's 3/4 inch nylon braided line running down there. We've got it going all the way back to the car already. And it's, you can see, it's hooked into the pump. We got plenty of slack. You can see it's laying on the floor, but by the time we clamp it all up and bring it up to here, it's going to take all that slack out. So all we got left is to run this to the fuel cell to get gas, and then run this one to the return. So right now we're just waiting on the foam to show up, because I'm replacing the foam in the tank. Once the foam shows up, then we can finish this job up and we'll wire it in, and that should really be all there is to it. So not too hard, just a lot of crawling around. But we'll get the foam in the fuel cell and get it finished up, and we'll see if the car fires up, see if we got any leaks. And I don't know, maybe it'll work. Maybe overkill. Maybe we got more fuel than we need, but we definitely got more room to grow. And we need to grow. Okay, we got it all together. Here you got your, I got my inlet here under the fuel cell. Then you got a return. It's going to go up, dump it back in. Here's what supplies the carburetor, but we've got it hanging out the back because I didn't do it yet, because we're going to start this up, see how much it flows, and flush these lines out. You got your ground, just hook your ground up, a positive, to a relay or a 30 amp fuse. If I can get up, we'll go back up here. And it's going to come back into our return here. Got our vent, got fuel in there, got Mike here helping in case this thing blows up. Somebody has to dial 911. We kind of got the power just rigged right now over to here with a pair of channel locks. That's approved. So he'll flip this switch. I'll watch that hose and we'll see what happens. Okay, let me get out here. If you guys see a spark, turn your computers off. All right, flip switch. I don't know, can you see that coming out of there? Here it goes. He's flipping. Yep, flipper. Oh yeah, look at that black stuff come out. Look at how much fuel that thing's cooking. That's the MagnaFuel GT or Pro 500. We're gonna let it flow the rest of this fuel through, make sure the lines are unplugged. Then we'll hook it back up into the regulator and see if we got a leak. All right, everything's hooked up. We flushed the tank. I put a little bit more fresh fuel in there, and I've started it up and checked for leaks. There's no leaks, but we're gonna have to check the pressure on the pump, because man, she pumps a lot. I'm gonna turn it on here and you watch. This is the bypass. The pump has its own bypass, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, watch this. You'll see it come slinging out of there. That's coming out of the bypass right there. I mean, you could put out a house fire. Well, probably not with gas, but you know what I mean. That's a lot. So we're going to have to read up to see how to adjust that pressure in that pump, because I believe that's a little too much. And we'll set it at up front on the regulator at 6-7 pounds for that Holly. Remember, you get these fittings and you cut your hose. You slide that in there, and then crank that back down on there. You've seen me use it with assembly lube. It got to where that wasn't working as great. So what I ended up doing is just, I don't know where I put it, but I ended up just spraying it with inside the hose with a little WD-40, and they went on there like a champ. So, but anyhow, that was the upgrade on the fuel system. Like I said, we cleaned out the fuel cell. I got some new foam. It's in the house. We'll go get it, put it in. I think it probably splashed more gas up then. We got the 3/4 inch fuel line, ran all the way up to the front, new regulator, and we reduced it down. We got the 12 8N on the fuel line, and then we reduced it down to the 8 to go into the carburetor. And we're going to pull the plate off of there, then this pacer plate, and get it back together. And I'm hoping we'll get a chance to run it again. But anyhow, so that was a quick visual on how to put those hoses together. So, I don't know. I made this video in parts because I've been working a lot of overtime here lately. I think we covered everything. I don't know. Did we? Did we get it all covered? I don't know. You'll let me know. If there's something you need to know, maybe I forgot to cover, or something you didn't understand, or something maybe you couldn't see. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I'll help you out all I can. You might want help from somebody that knows a little more than me, but no, I'm here. I'll answer. But anyhow, I appreciate you watching. This is Doug with Rusted Wrench Garage. Till next week, please subscribe.